Hi, my name is Przemek Chojecki and this episode is about technological books you should read in 2020. This is basically a text I have written for Medium, then it was published on towardsdatascience.com, and basically I want to go through the text because I think it's visual, it's practical, it's great to see these books live. And this is what this video is about. So I basically made this book recommendations because I love reading, I love technology, so why not? And this is most important books I have read recently about technology or in the past couple of years. It's basically everything about how both innovators are changing the world, how big companies are changing the world, and where we're going with all these new technologies that are coming to us every single year. So basically I started this list with Innovators by Walter Isaacson. So he was also a biographer of Steve Jobs. He's a great author. So he's written this book about creative minds, about people who pushed the boundaries and made something very particular and pushed the boundaries of how technology can influence our world. It's starting with more historical figures and going to modern times. Then when we think about innovators, then of course Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. He's doing amazing things with Tesla and SpaceX. And before that, PayPal, Zip2. I love his biography. It's really well written, and I'm trying to also follow him in his most recent endeavors. He's a really great figure, and I totally want to go to Mars at some point, like he does, basically. So if you want to know more about him, then read his biography by Ashley Vance. This is really a great book. Another great book is The Everything Store, and this is a biography of Jeff Bezos and actually how Amazon came to where it is right now, how it started with being a small online bookseller and become this global behemoth which operates across actually many industries. Also, it's very relevant in data science because of AWS, Amazon Web Services, because of the cloud. He's one of the main players in the in the cloud space. So definitely, if you start doing machine learning experiments, you start using Amazon as well. So that's a good to know. And I really like the statement of Bezos that it always day one, meaning you always have to forget about the past and think how you can influence the future. And think about how you can start from scratch, no matter where you are. And this approach is really great as a motivation to no matter what you're doing, whether it's a technology, PhD, your business, your corporate ladder. It's always great to start with a day one because you have more motivation to prove yourself. Then we're talking about Bad Blood by John Carreyrou. This book is about Theranos, so a startup who went from zero to a couple of $billions of evaluation, then back to zero, with basically the CEO ending up with a couple of problems right now. I don't think what's the most recent take on that, but definitely the company is. I think it filed for bankruptcy some time ago. It's really a great book about how Silicon Valley can go wrong and how the whole approach, the whole mindset about building unicorns, building those billion dollar companies can go wrong. So it's really great to read it and to try to understand what you shouldn't do actually, and that even in Silicon Valley, in this environment of innovations, you still can lie your way up to the top if you know particular people, if you know how you should network, what you should tell them, and be a little bit secretive about what your true motivations are. Great read. It's really more like a thriller than a fiction book. It's a really great like fact book. It's a really a great book. Another great book is Rocket Billionaires. So we're coming back to Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, but this time from the perspective of space. And the book is really great because it shows you the whole perspective on how the space is working, why the space industry is so hard, and why we talk about rocket science as being something almost impossible. So I truly understood that statement with this book because rocket science is rocket science because you only have one trial. It's only about you put those hundreds of millions of dollars into this one rocket, into this one launch, and then you can lose everything in a couple of seconds. And this is what happened in the past. And that's why rocket science is so hard, because it's not about theory that's behind the rocket science that's more or less understood, but it's more about the practical aspect of it, and that you have absolutely no margin for error. So you have to be 100% correct when you launch your rocket, because otherwise it's just going to explode. Really great book, going from back from like 40s, 50s up to now, and into the future, what might happen next. I really recommend that one. Then one of the most important stuff I try to recommend is, of course, books about AI. There are a couple standard books right now which I wanted to recommend. Of course, Sapiens by Harari and also Homo Deus by Harari are two. Both books are great. They are more from a historical perspective, what you should, how you should understand humans and how you should understand our interaction with technology, so that you can understand where AI is going and what we can expect from AI. And I'm a huge fan of this statement that actually it's all about merging humans with AI, with technology, so that we became better, superior than we were before, and we can use the technology to our own benefit. I think that's the whole approach with, for example, smartphones, because they making us cyborgs to some extent, but that's really great because we have all these capabilities, like we can check map live, we can check all the information live. This is really great, and we can communicate with anyone. So I guess AI will take us even further in this direction. If you want to have a grain of salt, then probably you should read Super Intelligence by Nick Bostrom. It's mostly about dangers, and he lays out the whole theory of AI and artificial general intelligence. So artificial general intelligence is this concept that AI is becoming at the cognitive level of humans, and basically it can learn by itself in all plethora of domains, and thanks to that it is becoming a new race, a new kind, and at some point we might need to compete with this artificial general intelligence. So that's the problematic part. It's really a great read, sometimes dense, but the great theory, and this is the common reference for anything related to AI and artificial general intelligence. A really great book. Then from the other standpoint, we have Weapons of Mass Destruction by Cathy O'Neil. This is a very popular book, mostly about how algorithms are influencing our world. Also great read with many examples from like our social environment. A similar book, but more concerned with business, is AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley and the New World Order by Kai-Fu Lee. So Kai-Fu Lee was, I guess he was the head of Google in China for some time, before the Google, when Google was actually there. Then he was involved with running a VC fund, so he invested in plethora of startups both in China and in the US. He has really good comparison between both China and the US, and he tries to put that in words in this book. So this book is about how different are ecosystems, startup ecosystems in Silicon Valley and in China, and he does that really well. I'm really amazed how different Chinese ecosystem is and how competitive it is compared to. So I always thought that, you know, like Silicon Valley is quite competitive and people are really trying to very hard to do some stuff, but China and actually Chinese startup ecosystem is the whole new level, and actually I was really amazed by some of the stories that and the lengths to which some of the people went in order to win and just destroy the competition. So it's really great. It's really eyes opening. You should read it especially if you're interested in China, but if you're interested in startup ecosystems, definitely it's also a good book. So I think that's it for today for technological books. I have also a couple of other lists to recommend, and I'll be coming to them on this YouTube channel, but also I'll be coming to, they're already there on Medium, so you can have a look at artificial intelligence books, data science books that I covered in the last video, machine learning books, and startup books, and a couple of more books. So basically what I want to do is I want to present this list of books, these recommendations for anyone to start reading them. Then I also want to go through different data science courses that you can find online. I think that's great, and I really like this kind of reviewing the material that I can show you online. So probably I'll be also doing like review of papers, of data science papers, machine learning papers, or of different websites of materials or code. So let's see how it goes. Let me know what you think about this form of interaction when you actually can't see me, but I'm talking, you hear my voice over this reading of this article. Yeah, so thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Also, you can visit datasciencerush.com. That's a website that I'm running where I collect all the materials for free. You don't have to be a member of Medium to access them. So go there. And also, if you want to engage more, please go to my Patreon, and I'd be very grateful for any kind of help, because that allows me to run even better things on this channel and on other channels that I think about, so mostly for the spreading out the news about data science and machine learning. Thank you for watching once again, and see you in the next episode.